Hello, fans, collectors, and investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I am Iconic Al. And why do I start off every one of my videos with hello, fans, collectors, and investors? Well, the way I see it, that's what we all are, to some degree. And it happens in that order. We are first fans. Fans of a sport, fans of a team, fans of certain players. And it starts in childhood, going to games with your dad or playing wiffle ball with your brother in the backyard while the game's on the radio, whatever it may be. You build emotional capital. You get invested emotionally in a game or a team or certain players. And that inspires you to collect that team or that player or just that sport in general. And then as you collect over the years, over the decades, inevitably you're investing money in this collection. And you start to think, most of us start to think about the value that they're building and what they are doing with their money. And unless you're independently wealthy, which I am not, you have to give some thought to what you're buying. Are you buying well? Are you making good buys, smart buys, looking at population reports, making sure you're getting good value? And is what you're buying creating value, or at least maintaining value over time? At least that's what I think of when I try to make good buys and spend my money well in the hobby. It is, yes, it is what do I like? You've heard that a lot of times. Collect what you like, collect what you love. But also, it has to make fiscal sense. And so as I say, fans, collectors, and investors, that's all I'm referring to, is that we are fans, we are collectors, and at some level, we care about the money we're spending. So we're investors. All right. Well, today I want to focus on a video response for John, Wade Boggs fan, who has just achieved the milestone of 1,000 subscribers. So congratulations, John. That's a huge accomplishment in this card community. And with his video response challenge, his contest, he has elected to, instead of having people show off various cards from their collection, which I also like, he has decided to do something very selfless, very altruistic with his challenge. It's basically paying it forward, sharing the love in the card community and the hobby. And the challenge is to share 5 channels under 500 subscribers that maybe haven't gotten the respect, the exposure, the traffic to their channels that they deserve. So the least I can do is pay it forward here, because I have actually benefited from this contest already. People have shouted me out, and I'm grateful and humbled to even be mentioned. So I want to mention 5 channels of my own here that I've been following that are actually all under 300 subscribers. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down in terms of subscribers. And here are my 5 channels that I'm recommending for this contest. Number 1 is Vintage Sanctuary. This is a guy named Adam, and I was lucky enough to meet Adam at the National this year, and what a marvelous man. What a great guy to talk to. He has a coin collecting background, and he's since moved and dove headlong into the vintage baseball hobby. And he's having a great time doing it, you can tell. He's really into the Yankees, the Hall of Famers, and the contributors, and really cares about the aesthetic quality of his cards and how they present, how they look, the condition. So he gets into the weeds with the condition, and he has a great eye for vintage and the condition of vintage cards. And so check out Vintage Sanctuary. He has 295 subscribers, so give him some love. All right, number 2 is Alan's Cards, and great name, by the way. Alan's Cards. He has 254 subscribers, a great collection, mostly vintage and pre-war. Just some amazing cards that I drool over every time I see one of his videos. He doesn't post a lot of videos, which is maybe why he has less than 500 subscribers still. But check out Alan's Cards, a great channel. All right, the third one is Chris from Missouri. Now, Chris, I was able to meet at the National as well. We went to that that hobby content creating event at the Sheraton across from the National Convention Center. And I sat at the bar with Chris and got to see a lot of his vintage pickups from the show, and really just was impressed with him as an individual, just a very genuine guy, and really cares deeply about the hobby. And he's just recently got onto YouTube. He's been collecting for 40, 50 years, and he's only been on YouTube for like a month or two. And so definitely give him some love. He has some great stories, and I just love hearing those stories from other eras, from before I was around, about when he was mowing lawns for for vintage cards and things like that. Just a great, wholesome guy to follow and to gain some knowledge off of. Chris from Missouri. Check him out. He's got 233 subscribers. All right, number 4 is The Drew, or as he's known now, The Drew, a Vintage Legacy. This guy, great sense of humor. I loved his videos on the 54 Red Heart set. It's a set that I love too. I learned a lot from that video, actually, on the history of the Red Heart set and how many cards are in it and how it's put together and what Hall of Famers are in it. And The Drew. He had a great video during the National. He didn't go to the National this year, but he posted a really funny video, like a time lapse on what he was doing during the National to kill time because he was like depressed that he wasn't there. But The Drew, great channel, great guy. And then last but not least, a channel that only has 53 subscribers, Clemente Collector. Now this guy is a Pirates fan, like myself, from Pittsburgh, like myself, and loves Clemente, loves the Pirates from the 80s, 90s, and today, and back to the 50s and 60s as well. I don't think he does a lot of pre-war, but he does vintage. He does kind of 50s, 60s, up until today, and he's a big Pirates fan and passionate fan. And so check out Clemente Collector. Great dude. All right, well, those are my top 5. And I just want to say, again, thank you to the community. Thank you to John, Wade Boggs fan. I was able to get this limited, signed, red ink auto at the National. So very grateful for that. Thank you, John. Number 11 out of 60. I think I'll get that graded someday, see where it comes out. But again, this card community is a great thing, and I'm actually going to be posting another video response after this to Clemente Collector, because he had a challenge to me to construct the greatest Pirates lineup of all time through cards. So that's coming up after this video. But thank you again. Thank you, Wade Boggs fan. And until next time, keep collecting and stay iconic.